Hi gluten-free people. Today I am making a tart crust actually, and so I'm going to be using this tart pan. And the advantage of doing a tart instead of a pie is that it is simpler. I don't need my rolling pin or my silicone mat. I've got all the ingredients already in my mixer. I'm going to mix it up and pretty much just press it in, so there's no rolling, and therefore it's a lot simpler. Okay, and it's already starting to gather up into kind of a ball just from being in the mixer, but it does not have to be rolled out like I said, so that is ideal. It's pretty wet and sticky too, so it would actually be really challenging to roll this out. About this much crust to work with over kind of a small pan anyway, 9-inch pan. And so I'm going to press the crust out just with my hands, which have been washed, and up into all of the crevices around the pan. It is like a fluted pan, meaning there's like all of these little divots around that we want to get all into. It is pretty buttery. There's also egg in this, which I think is making it very sticky. Smearing it a bit with my fingers. And much like with a pie crust, it's easy to kind of put too much in the corners where the bottom and kind of the walls meet. So be cognizant of that and try your best to kind of push it up and out so that you don't just have like a really thick corner. The other thing about a tart, which is interesting, versus a pie, is that this tart will be baked blind, meaning I'm going to bake the shell of the tart empty, and then the other parts of it, which in this case I'm going to make caramel and chocolate layers, actually don't get baked, so they get just kind of cooked on the stovetop and poured into the shell and melted, and that's how you get this particular tart. If you know anything about blind baking pie crust or tart crust, you know that it has a tendency to shrink and sink when it is baking. Part of that is from the butter melting. And so what I did is I stuck the whole tart crust into the freezer for 10 minutes, which helped. And I actually lack pie weights, which is something I should get, but not having that, I put some foil in the tart, and I'm going to fill that then with rice. And this serving as my pie weight will help it keep its shape as it bakes, and so it'll be less slumpy, and it'll be good to go. So here we have the tart pre-bake and then the tart post-bake, and you can see it really did not shrink very much, so my method was on point. And then I filled it with caramel sauce that I made, and then a chocolate ganache on top of that with some sea salt kind of speckled on top. And this was really delicious, if I do say so myself. It was not possible to get the tart crust to pop out of the tart pan, unfortunately. Maybe next time I'll try a little cooking spray or butter on the pan to help it to pop out, since a tart pan generally has a removable bottom so that it can be served outside of the pan. Okay, if you try to make a tart crust, let me know. It's really not complicated, but I'd love to hear your results.